being the worst moment of his presidency, I can't really speak to that, but as his take, his explanation, I completely agree with and I empathize with totally.
Kanye West's dramatic reappearance at the Grammys after a 10-year absence was always bound to spark conversation, but the actual scenes that unfolded on the red carpet were beyond anything even his most ardent fans could have imagined. Dressed in his typical layered fashion, heavy coat, hoodie, gloves, he walked with a quiet air of confidence, making sure he kept his face partially concealed. His wife, Bianca Censori, arrived at his side, initially hidden beneath a luxurious fur coat that swept the floor in an almost theatrical display. The moment she let it slip off her shoulders, though, everyone watching seemed to freeze. Beneath that huge coat was a completely sheer dress with no visible bra or underwear, turning the photographer's spotlights into a merciless glare that revealed far more than typical Grammy attire ever allows. The immediate public reaction was chaos, camera flashes, gasps from bystanders, and a flurry of social media posts capturing every angle. Some stunned onlookers wondered if there had been a wardrobe malfunction, but the way Bianca carried herself suggested this was intentional. Kanye, meanwhile, stood at a slight distance, calmly surveying the scene like an artist admiring a masterpiece. People began to ask the obvious. Was this about self-expression, or was it a blatant move for attention? Even for an event known to push fashion boundaries, the extent of Bianca's exposure felt extreme. It quickly became clear this was more than just another outlandish red carpet moment. It was the latest chapter in an increasingly bizarre saga surrounding Kanye and his wife. Within minutes, questions arose about how Bianca had bypassed the Recording Academy's notoriously strict guidelines. Over the years, these rules have targeted anything deemed too provocative or disruptive. Attendees are often reminded that while the show loves creativity and flair, there are standards to keep the broadcast relatively family-friendly. Typically, exposed private regions, see-through clothing that leaves nothing to the imagination, or garments resembling undergarments are forbidden. Bianca's outfit checked nearly every box of what not to wear, yet no one from security intervened, and no official seemed to approach her. As images circulated online, countless observers started dissecting possible reasons for the Grammy staff's inaction. Some believed Kanye's celebrity status granted them temporary immunity. Others speculated that the organization didn't want to amplify the drama by publicly confronting one of the biggest names in music. In the background, critics blasted the inconsistency, highlighting past instances when artists were warned or reprimanded for less risque attire. In this swirl of confusion, the spotlight pivoted from how Bianca looked to whether the Grammys themselves might face repercussions for letting such a shocking visual go unchecked. The entire spectacle revealed just how blurry the line between artistic freedom and public decency can become at events striving to be both stylish and respectable. Amateur lip readers on social media wasted no time zooming into clips where Kanye seemed to whisper to Bianca. In one widely shared post, a bystander's phone recording showed Kanye leaning close and saying something that prompted Bianca to shrug off the fur coat. Interpretations varied wildly. Some insisted Kanye commanded her to take it off, while others argued Bianca was already planning to remove it and he simply reassured her. A third camp believed the entire moment was orchestrated for maximum shock, with both parties fully on board. What these fleeting snippets lacked in clarity, they made up for in online intrigue. Threads, hashtags, and heated debates sprang up across platforms like Twitter and TikTok. More than a few viewers argued Bianca's face betrayed a tinge of nervousness, her eyes darting around, her lips forming a half-hearted smile. Still, supporters of the couple insisted she carried herself with confidence, and any anxiety was simply first-time red carpet jitters at an event of this magnitude. As is often the case, the truth may lie somewhere between full cooperation and reluctant compliance, but the public's appetite for details was immense, and every passing hour brought fresh commentary, intensifying the mystery of their dynamic. Those familiar with Bianca's recent fashion evolution could hardly be surprised by her Grammy outfit. Since her relationship with Kanye went public, she's been seen in a series of bold and sometimes borderline outrageous ensembles. One day, it was a see-through raincoat worn over nude-colored stockings while Kanye bundled up in a bulky sweatshirt. Another time, she stepped into a family-friendly eatery wearing a translucent top and no bra, causing heads to turn and cameras to snap. On multiple occasions, she's been spotted covering parts of her body with just a phone or clutch bag, as if she were perpetually adjusting a costume rather than simply wearing clothes. Observers often point out that Kanye, a known perfectionist in his projects, appears to guide these choices. In paparazzi photos, he's sometimes seen making small tweaks to Bianca's wardrobe, pulling the fabric tighter, adjusting a strap, or repositioning a jacket. Friends of the couple, speaking off the record, have mentioned that Kanye loves pushing the envelope of conventional fashion and sees Bianca as the perfect muse. However, to outsiders, it can look exploitative. The stark contrast between Kanye's full coverage and Bianca's near nudity fuels talk about whether she genuinely embraces this style or simply feels compelled to comply. It's a question without a clear answer, overshadowed by the eye-catching images flooding social media feeds. Behind the glitz, rumors have circulated about deep discord between Bianca and her more traditional family members. According to a few acquaintances, her parents were taken aback by the sudden shift in their daughter's public image. Once known for her modesty, Bianca now stars in tabloids for wearing next to nothing, and this appears to have led to familial heartache. Speculation abounds that her mother even flew from Australia to Los Angeles in a desperate bid to talk sense into Bianca, or at least to understand what was happening in her life. Some sources say an intervention was planned, but it's unclear if a formal meeting ever took place. For Bianca's family, the transformation feels abrupt. They reportedly see these outfits and wonder if she's lost her autonomy to Kanye's grand vision. Others close to the couple, however, suggest the opposite, that Bianca is fully engaged and reveling in the newfound attention. She's described by a few former colleagues as creative, daring, and open to challenging norms. Could it be that she's simply seizing an opportunity to make a statement, controversial though it may be? The family tension underscores a broader question. Does Bianca parade these looks for art or under duress? Even if an intervention was attempted, the specifics remain elusive, leaving outsiders to speculate on whether anyone can sway her away from Kanye's orbit. While the debate raged on about Bianca's revealing attire, an explosive lawsuit took the narrative to a more troubling place. A former assistant named Lauren accused Kanye of pressuring her into uncomfortable scenarios, bombarding her with explicit messages, and leveraging his influence to manipulate her personal choices. Among these disturbing claims was the assertion that Bianca herself helped arrange rides and meetings for women Kanye wanted to see, suggesting that she played a logistical role in some of his more questionable activities. If these allegations hold any truth, it implies that Bianca's involvement in Kanye's private life goes beyond passively wearing daring outfits. According to Lauren's account, there were moments when Bianca was directly involved in planning intimate encounters at Yeezy offices and even encouraged to partake in them. This revelation ignited a firestorm on social media, fueling speculation that Bianca was either deeply complicit or equally coerced by Kanye into scenarios she might not have otherwise chosen. Critics argued that the lines between victim, collaborator, and enabler can blur in high-profile relationships. Advocates for Bianca stress that nothing is black and white when dealing with power imbalances in the entertainment industry. In any case, the lawsuit added a darker dimension to the conversation, illustrating that the Grammys incident might only be one outward manifestation of an environment where boundaries are constantly tested. As soon as photos of Bianca in her sheer dress hit the internet, countless memes circulated comparing her near-naked figure to Kanye's heavily layered ensemble. Some were humorous, others pointedly critical, but all fixated on the surreal disconnect between their outfits. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram thrived on dramatic takes. Was Kanye objectifying Bianca for attention, or were they both orchestrating a high-concept performance piece? Hashtags proliferated, inviting everyone from casual fans to celebrity commentators to weigh in. Meanwhile, fashion pundits dissected the look, dividing into camps. One group championed it as avant-garde, claiming that real art always sparks discomfort. Another group called it an irresponsible publicity stunt, especially given the Grammys' wide viewership. Interviews with stylists and entertainment insiders revealed a deeper unease. Many wondered if such extreme displays help or harm Kanye's legacy, which has already taken multiple hits in recent years due to controversies. Certain talk show hosts criticized criticized Bianca's participation, warning that sensational stunts often overshadow genuine talent or creativity. The result was a polarized landscape. For every individual lauding the couple's fearless approach, another condemned their behavior as a sign of disturbing power play. Initially, gossip suggested that Kanye and Bianca were escorted out of the Grammys after violating the event's dress code. The story spread like wildfire, with so-called insiders claiming the couple had been outright banned. However, an official connected to the show later denied those claims, stating that Kanye and Bianca left on their own. Not long after, stories about a raucous after-party began to emerge. Supposed eyewitnesses described the couple dancing provocatively, engaging in overt displays of intimacy, and generally revving up the same shock factor they'd introduced on the red carpet. In one retelling, Kanye and Bianca were spotted in a secluded corner, locked in a passionate embrace, oblivious to onlookers who watched with fascination or repulsion. Another version claims Bianca's outfit at the after-party was even more revealing, as though she doubled down on the night's theme of pushing boundaries. Whether these accounts were exaggerated or entirely factual, they served to intensify the narrative that Kanye is in a phase of unrestrained indulgence. And if Bianca's role in all this is ambiguous, that ambiguity itself has become part of the couple's mystique. Every step they take, every rumor of them being forcibly removed or hosting extreme private gatherings fuels the unstoppable chatter about what they'll do next. For over a decade, Kanye has mastered the art of controversy. From high-profile feuds to unfiltered rants, he thrives on challenging social norms. Many fans see him as a trailblazer who disrupts the status quo on purpose, believing that progress often emerges from provocation. Viewing Bianca's appearance through this lens, her sheer dress could be seen as another line in Kanye's manifesto, an extension of his relentless bid to question and invert social standards. If so, then Bianca's role might be akin to that of a muse, willingly embracing his avant-garde aspirations. Yet another perspective paints a bleaker picture. Kanye's earlier relationships featured elements of him dictating or heavily influencing how his partners dressed and acted in public. Critics argue that the difference here is not just about style, it's about controlling someone else's image, especially under the glare of media scrutiny. The lawsuit from his former assistant only heightens suspicions that Kanye extends his influence beyond mere fashion tips, potentially using manipulation to shape the behavior of those in his inner circle. If true, Bianca's Grammys look may be less a bold expression of autonomy and more an alarming sign of how far she's willing or forced to go to stay in Kanye's good graces. As the dust settles, more questions remain than answers. Kanye and Bianca's night at the Grammys was a whirlwind of spectacle, leaving a divided audience wondering who exactly is running the show. Is Bianca fully in control of her choices, empowered by a partner who understands her willingness to shock the world? Or is she another individual caught in Kanye's far-reaching sphere of control? The swirling rumors of family interventions, disturbing lawsuits, and brazen public appearances don't paint a simple story of artistic expression. Instead, they hint at a tangled web of power dynamics, personal freedom, and the insatiable hunger for global attention. While many watchers predict the couple will continue unveiling jaw-dropping stunts, others hold out hope that Bianca might eventually clarify her position. Perhaps she'll speak openly about the motivations behind her choices, or perhaps she'll quietly step away if the pressure becomes too great. Regardless, the public fascination seems unlikely to wane anytime soon. With each appearance, they either reinforce the notion of a cohesive, boundary-pushing duo, or stoke fresh suspicions about hidden agendas and unhealthy control. For now, we're left to speculate, caught between admiration for fearless creativity and concern for what might be going on behind the scenes. After all, Kanye West has never been shy about grabbing headlines, and Bianca Censori's emergence alongside him looks like his most polarizing project yet. Whether it ends as a liberating journey for her or a cautionary tale of fame's hidden perils, their partnership remains a puzzle that keeps the world watching. And as with every chapter in Kanye's unpredictable narrative, the only certainty is that the next revelation will spark just as much intrigue and likely even more controversy. This story is far from over. With each public appearance, the controversies seem to escalate, drawing both supporters and skeptics into a vortex of speculation. One question looms above all the chatter: how will Bianca navigate the complexities of being tied to one of the most polarizing figures in modern pop culture? Will she continue to shock and provoke by Kanye's side, or will the mounting pressure finally push her to step out from under his shadow? The answers remain elusive, but as long as they keep stepping into the spotlight, the world will be watching, questioning every move, analyzing every glance, and seeking that elusive truth hidden beneath the glitz and sheer fabrics.